Hey friends, Moto Drink here, and we have a really fun day today. We're going to be reviewing a Speed Triple RS. Now I have ridden the Street Triple R and the Street Triple RS. Now we're on the big boy. So, is this 2020 the right bike for you? Quickly before I get on, 1050cc. Last year of this generation, we're moving up to an 1160. We will talk about, is it worth considering waiting or just buying this guy. 150 horsepower, like 86 foot-pounds of torque at 7,000 RPM, something like that. Brembos all around, carbon fiber, Olin suspension. It's a nice bike. Okay, let's ride it. First off, proximity key. Right off the bat, I'm not the biggest fan of that. But hey, to each their own. We have a TFT dash that's actually quite nice. LED headlights, it's not nighttime. Cruise control, you just really have some nice options, and it comes right out of the gate, like, pretty well set up. So, it's got that traditional sounding Triumph triple sound, at least traditional to me. But it's inline, so it's smooth and low vibration. Nice. This bike sits a little higher than the Street Triple. I can tell you I'm going to like this, folks. You know, she's as smooth as she is dangerous. That's the thing about these Triumphs that's so great. Now, silky just handling. Now the tires on this are, I believe, Super Corsas. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself here. It's cold, so let's turn our mirrors out. These are kind of interesting mirrors. You can turn them in or out depending on what you're doing. So we got Super Corsas, and it's a cold day, so I'm gonna have to get these tires warmed up before I get too rambunctious. Nice mirrors with them out, though. Pretty good visibility. These are summer tires, folks, so you don't want to go too wild in this situation. Now, why am I starting this ride in town? Well, this is where we unfortunately do have to ride our bikes from time to time, and it's actually one of the things that makes Triumphs kind of special to me, at least. This bike behaves well for it being as fast and rambunctious as it is, and the good handling it's got. Unlike some other really raw, high-power, naked sports machines, this particular bike is just a dream to ride. I mean, I've never ridden a Speed Triple. Whoops, false missed second there. I've never ridden a Speed Triple, but it feels right at home. It would take me very little time to get really comfortable on this. I'm a little cramped. Now, just to let you know, I'm 6'3". I'm a little bit cramped in the legs, but it's not like it's undoable. It is a sports bike, right? So, as far as the upper body, though, very, very comfortable. Neutral, a little bit forward, but nothing too bad. You can tuck in. It's got a bit of a little cowl fairing on the bullet fairing above the headlights there, so I don't expect that to do a whole lot, but it might at least give me a pocket to tuck into. So again, this bike being as fast as it is just really smooth and gentle, and I hear the term gentleman's bike a lot with Triumphs, and it's true. The suspension is, the suspensions, they perform well, but they're also pretty good just for, regular road riding where you have imperfections in the roads. So what I'm saying is you can have like a pretty much super bike that feels good around town and the slow stuff. Now I have a Hayabusa, and I owned a ZX14, and they were just miserable to ride in town because they don't want to go 40 miles an hour. And I've ridden the Daytona, and it was an older one, and it didn't want to go 40 miles an hour. But because of the way I'm sitting, and because of the throttle by wire that's been on these since 2018, I am really doing just fine. Now, if you're in a lane filtering state, this would be a good bike for that. Oregon is not, so I'm gonna avoid doing that for now, at least. But the seat is really nice. It's supportive, and actually, it's one of the softer seats that I've been on with a sport machine. Like it's pretty plush, and I feel like I'm sitting very high again compared to the Street Triple. I don't know what the seat height is. I'll put them here. I'm just curious. I feel like I'm on like stilts right now, which is probably good for cornering. What a lovely engine. It's so smooth. So for around town, is it acceptable? Yes, I think so. You can get yourself a soft set of bags or a little tail bag, and you could commute on this, and you could maybe even get groceries depending on like soft bags or something. While you can hear me well, some things about these LED headlights. Now, Triumph has done just a magnificent job with their headlamps. I won't be riding this at night, and there are reviews, but the thing is GoPros do really a totally shit job of recording headlights at night. And hey, Miss Cinderflyer, if by chance you see this, I really like your videos, by the way. And he's got a good review on this bike. They loaned him one for kind of a long term. I'm just giving you my take on it. I'm kind of a lanky giraffe chicken, intermediate level motorcyclist. I'll put it that way. And from my perspective, I would choose this bike over something that is, say, a great deal more horsepower. And no, I'm not biased because I know the dealership there. Anybody can meet Cascade Motos people. Okay, they're like really nice people. They've got a lot of customers that are involved with their store just because they're wonderful people. Now, I am ultimately a consumer, and I would buy the bike that fit me best and does what I need to do. It has nothing to do about the Triumph badge. And believe me, I have my gripes with Triumph. But what I can tell you is what they do get right is really the refinement experience on these machines. And they're really, Triumph is just a great brand overall as far as the people you meet, and all the bikes are just pretty damn solid. Now let's talk back roads. This is where this bike shines. It's where you're going to find yourself having most of your fun. Nimble, sharp handling, I can already tell. Fast acceleration. Allegedly the bike comes alive at about 7,000 RPM. Let's downshift and find out. Oh yeah, the second I was approaching 7,000, it's a blast off. But I really like the low end of this too, and that's the nice thing about a triple is you're kind of getting good of all worlds. Not best, good. If you were running a twin or a V4, you're probably going to see a lot more low end run. Alternatively, if you're running an inline 4, then you're going to see a lot more high end there. Okay, let's do a little bit of a takeoff here. Okay, just make sure. Oh yeah, and yeah, that's amazing. Let's do it again. Now this bike has auto blip, and it's got up and down. It's basically got up and down quick shift. So let's keep putting in the clutch. Hello? Okay, upshifting is a little clunky, but that could be my fault. I'm not very experienced with those. Let's just go down. I'm giddy. Feels great. I mean, just getting through the corner, I'm still getting used to bikes, so I'm not really trying to. You can do a fair bit of hanging off of this seat too. Like, it fits nice. Like, my leg sits nice against the opposite side of the lean. It's so smooth and not obnoxious, but it's got like the vigor of two Klingon suns. It's just wonderful. Let's do another takeoff. That's fun. Actually, let me use the down blip automatic. I am not going to use the clutch. I have to tell myself that. Ready? Oh yeah. By the way, the wheel was coming off the ground, but the traction control, it did a really smooth job of like not making me feel like the bike was sort of neutering itself. It just kind of, the wheel came up and it just gently let it down. Now it is an over square engine, as I understand, so they're like long strokes, it's a long stroke cycle. That's where you get all this incredible torque of the Triumph. This is the funnest bike I've ridden from Triumph. Yeah, hands down. It's more fun than the Rocket 3. I'm sorry. Different bike. Okay, different bike. But it is really getting my adrenal glands pumping and thrusting. So let's try our cruise control. Let's get down to the speed limit here. Going to tap it down there, and it's on, and then it's set. You hit it one more time to set it, and then it's plus and minus on the controls, but as you can see, it's working. And I think you have to be in third gear for that. Either way, it doesn't want you doing it like 20 miles an hour. That's what I would say there. And again, just kind of putting around, like I'm going 5 under the speed limit. Like it's really nice bike to just cruise through the country on. Is it a touring bike? Well, anything is if you do it, but no, I don't think that's the intention. It's definitely not a good pillion bike, which some of them don't even have a pillion seat, as I understand this one does, but you're sitting on pipes too, so just wonderful. And it feels so light. This is really wonderful. You know, for the small amount, if you're talking about a monthly payment anyways, between the Street Triple RS and the Speed Triple, this is what I would have. I just want to accelerate again. I'm going to do it again. And the brakes are nice in there. These Brembos, smooth and powerful, and it's so forgiving. Like whatever, you know, when to just stay in third gear, it's smooth. It doesn't dislike that. It's cold. My nose is running. What an experience, guys! If you have the chance to test ride one of these, even if you don't buy it, come and test ride this. This is really. I would so rather have this than my Hayabusa. And I know it's an old Hayabusa, but I love that bike. And this is just from a sporty perspective, from a realistic road bike perspective. This is wonderful.
Hey, how y'all doing? Just gonna throw my 2 cents about the Triumph Speed Triple. I used to own a 2014. This was the one bike I've had the longest. I rode it for almost 5 years and put almost 30,000 miles on this bike from being brand new. It's a fantastic, torquey, fun bike, but this one, as being a 2014, was the last generation of the cable throttle. So the new ones and the one that Randy just rode is 2 generations new compared to this one. And I tell everyone that current Speed Triple is the best bike I've ever ridden, and not just for outright performance and speed, but really for like how tame it is at low speeds. And I didn't have that same thing with my 2014. You know, if you're commuting on this thing in slow traffic, you know, the clutch is heavy and it just wants to be in that sweet zone for you know, higher RPM. So, you know, it was not the funnest bike for a commuter, but the new one, I could tell you, man, that thing is just smooth and fun to ride, whether fast or slow. That's kind of my 2 cents of why I think it's such a fantastic bike. So,
Thanks, Kenny.
all right, enjoy.
Final thoughts on the 2020 Triumph Speed Triple RS. Well, this bike was incredible. A lot of power, but even with that power, very smooth, very usable. It's a very usable bike for commute, to sport bike, to track riding. I think this is a really capable and versatile machine. Now there's a Speed Triple S and there's an RS. They only had an RS here, and I'm glad to ride that one. That's the step-up model. This one will set you back about 16.5, somewhere in that ballpark. Now you may see some rebates on these in the coming future because of the new 21 model, which is going to have the larger engine. I hope to review that soon. So this might be a great time to pick one of these up at a steal or get a rebate. Now if you decide to opt for the S model, it's going to save you about $2,000-ish from the price tag. I wouldn't recommend that. This is a very capable machine, and those upgrades are going to be primarily brakes and suspension based, and it just works so well on the RS model that I think it's worth that amount of money. When you think about the capability of this machine, it really deserves to have high performance all around and not just in the engine. Now, cons with this bike, well, it doesn't have the power of its rivals at this time. We'll have to see when the new one comes out, but currently you're talking about up to maybe a 50 horsepower gap between its competition. Does that mean that this bike can't compete with the likes of KTM and Ducati and Aprilia? Absolutely not. A great rider will be able to track weapon this like crazy and put up a heck of a competition against just about anything. As a last thought, if I were looking for a sport bike, this is one of the most compelling bikes that I've ridden in the past year or two. And I was really blown away by the Street Triple RS. I thought it was a great machine. I still think it's a great bike. But after riding this would be the bike that I would pursue. All right, guys, thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time, hopefully on a Thruxton. So ride safe, catch you then.